Today, I'm going to share 8 tips for success when you are married to a disabled person. So join me for some great information. Hi, this is Corey from Blind to Billionaire, and today I'm going to talk about 8 tips for success when you are married to or have a loved one who is disabled. And in my situation, my husband Matt, like most of you might know, is blind, and so he has some different abilities and different needs. And what is it like to be somebody in my situation who's married to him? And what can I do to have a more successful relationship and just a successful feeling in our house? And so I have 8 tips. Tip number 1 is to take care of yourself. Make sure that you are doing what you need to do to take care of your insides, take care of your outsides. Make sure that you feel good. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep, that you're eating well, taking time to rest, whatever it is that you need. If you need to say like, hey, like I need to just like binge on Netflix for a while, do what you need to do so that you can be the best spouse or partner that you can. And that might be giving yourself some good self-care. Tip number 2 is give each of yourself some space. So sometimes Matt and I need like a little space from each other. And it might be that I go and like read a book in another room. It might be that he spends some time without me. Sometimes you just need like a little extra space. I think when you are in a relationship sometimes where there's maybe a little bit more reliance on the other person in some fashion, I think it's easy for each of you to feel a little burnt out at times. It doesn't mean you don't love each other. It doesn't mean that you're not happy. It just means that sometimes when there's just two people who spend so much time together and have kind of a little bit more needs than maybe just a super able-bodied couple, you need a little bit of time, and that's okay. So take that time, give yourself space, and it might be a little space, it might be a lot of space, but that's healthy, and I think that that's good. The next thing is to practice patience. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your spouse. Remember that everyone's doing your best, and sometimes you just need to be a little more patient than maybe you would otherwise be, but I think that in general, everyone can be more patient with each other. Thing number 4 is to breathe. Just like take a breath, you're doing your best. Take some good solid yoga breaths if that's what you need. Just like give yourself some space, give yourself some time. I know I just said space, but breathe. The next thing on my list is remember that no one's perfect. So if you ever feel like frustrated with your spouse, remember that nobody's perfect. So yes, maybe your spouse has some different needs than another person, but they also have some qualities that you fell in love with, and that's why you married them. And another person might not have those great qualities. So yes, maybe I'm the driver, and sometimes it's frustrating to read a lot of paperwork. But you know what? Like in my situation, Matt offers other great qualities like his conservative financial background that I really appreciate, his kindness, his thoughtfulness. Those are things that maybe another person wouldn't have. And the other thing that I always like to think about is that I'm in the equation and I'm going to be the same person no matter what. And so like I'm not perfect either. So sometimes I'll think when we're like having a little tiff or like things aren't super, super perfect and it's frustrating. And I'll think, you know, like whether I was having the situation with Matt or another person, part of the problem, like 50% of the problem is me. And like, I bring the same issue to the table in every relationship I'm in too. So, you know, I'm stubborn, and so that's not going to change in a different relationship. The other thing is to let little things go. So if you are like super picky about certain things, that's okay, but like let some of that go, because everything can't be perfect 100% of the time. Everything can't feel like super easy 100% of the time. Let things that don't matter just like roll off your back, because your life is going to be so much easier if you don't get hung up on like, you know what, you're 5 minutes late to something, just like let it go. It takes your spouse a little bit longer to do something, just like that can be your time to take some deep breaths. So like you don't have to, nothing has to be perfect. Maybe you have a little bit different responsibilities than you would in a different relationship. Just like it's okay. Like it's okay. Be patient. Let those little things go, and you'll be happier. The next thing that I think is really important to talk about is to don't take the frustration of your partner personally. So sometimes Matt feels frustrated and he feels like irritated because of his situation with like having no sight. And I think sometimes especially at the beginning of a relationship, it was really easy for me to feel like, oh my gosh, he's so mad at me. Oh, he's not happy with me. But it's like, well, he is happy with me. He's just frustrated with himself. And if I project onto him like, oh, are you mad at me? Like, are you frustrated with me? Like, did I do something wrong? That's just putting more pressure on him that like he really doesn't need. And it doesn't mean that we don't need to both be really kind and like, you have to be nice to your partner. But I feel like if I say to him when he's frustrated, like, oh, what did I do? Like, are you mad at me? Then that's just like putting more on him versus just like letting him feel frustrated, take some breaths and move on, and then like it's over, versus me like adding to it by like badgering him about if it's me that's like the problem. Just like, it's okay if your partner's frustrated, it's not always about you. And then the last thing is to celebrate success. So to me, in our relationship, if things go well, and I mean, you have to treat people like normal people too. You don't have to just like, oh, you made a sandwich, like, good job. But like when he does do things that are more independent than usual, or, you know, if work goes extra well, whatever, like, appreciate that and celebrate that, and don't just focus on like what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. And I think that those 8 things will make you have a happy relationship, a happier life. I'm giving those ideas to you from a sighted spouse to a married to a blind guy, but I think that they can be relevant in pretty much any relationship. And I think that they could be used in the reverse way too. Like, Matt could use these same principles and we could equally have like success with those tips. So I hope this helps. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you all so much. I'm excited to answer your comments, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in a future video. Have a great night. Bye.